People often say that childhood sweethearts cannot compete with fate, yet I was fortunate enough to marry my childhood friend, Mary. But who would have thought that until the end of her life, she never truly loved me? At the moment of the accident, she used her last ounce of strength to press the shard of glass that had pierced my neck, muttering, "I would give everything to meet Tom again." Then she picked up the piece of glass and, without hesitation, plunged it into her own neck. When I woke up again, I saw Mary, without any hesitation, rushing into Tom's arms in front of everyone. On the way to the divorce, Mary and I sat in the back seat of the car, as if there were an insurmountable chasm between us. "Is divorce absolutely necessary?" I asked. "Yes, Tom is back. I've missed him for too long," Mary said expressionlessly. After finishing, the corners of her mouth unconsciously curled into a faint smile. Since getting married, I have rarely seen her smile like this. Suddenly, her phone chimed with a message notification, and Mary's face instantly turned as pale as paper. Her body began to tremble slightly, and tears streamed uncontrollably down her cheeks. Even while crying, she still maintained that cool, noble demeanor. I picked up the handkerchief, just about to hand it to her, when she suddenly jumped up as if she had gone mad, reaching out to snatch the steering wheel from the driver's hands. "Tom committed suicide. He's dead, and I will never see him again. It's all your fault. Let's die together." The driver was terrified and tried to grab the steering wheel, but it was too late. The car crashed straight into the large truck ahead. I fell into a pool of blood, groggy, trying to struggle for my own salvation, but Mary gave me no chance at all. Despite her arms being severely deformed, she endured the excruciating pain and pressed all the glass shards embedded in my neck down further. Then she revealed a smile of relief, picked up the glass shards again, and stabbed them in her own neck. "Tom, I'm here to keep you company. Young master, we have arrived at the school." A call suddenly woke me up, and I opened my eyes wide from that bone-chilling cold. Perhaps it was the effect of adrenaline. When death approached, I surprisingly didn't feel much pain, only the deep-seated cold that penetrated my bones. The chill from blood loss and Mary's heartless coldness intertwined, completely extinguishing my will to survive. No matter how hard I had tried to warm Mary's heart, in the end, it was all in vain. I looked around in confusion, and before I could see clearly, a figure quickly darted away. I opened the car door and gazed at the familiar high school campus in front of me, feeling as if I were in a surreal dream. The figure that had already run far away was Mary. I instinctively walked towards the classroom where a crowd of curious classmates had already gathered at the door. While Mary is actually with Tom, does George know? They are really bold, hugging each other in broad daylight. Makes one envious. The surroundings were filled with whispers. Upon seeing me, the crowd automatically parted to create a path. Mary's eyes were red, as if she had found a long-lost treasure, and she held Tom tightly. When her gaze met mine, a flicker of disgust flashed in her eyes. At that moment, I clearly realized that this was not a dream. I had truly returned to the past. Seeing her excitement and joy, I lowered my gaze and said softly, "It's time for class." After saying that, I walked straight into the classroom. The crowd immediately dispersed, and my good brother David walked over to me while looking back at the two people embracing. "You're really not doing well. The person you've been chasing for so long is actually with someone else." There was a teasing smile in his eyes, but I could tell he was standing up for me. I glanced at Tom outside the window. His expression was somewhat flustered, and my heart was filled with bitterness. "I no longer like her, so don't associate me with her anymore." That's right. From the moment Mary endured excruciating pain to insert the glass into my throat, my love for her had completely vanished. David looked at me somewhat unexpectedly. After all, anyone could see my possessiveness towards Mary. I opened my backpack, and instead of homework, it was filled with various snacks that Mary loves to eat. After thinking for a moment, I stuffed all these snacks into my desk mate's desk. The class bell rang. Mary reluctantly released her grip on Tom's neck. Tom's gaze flickered uncertainly, not daring to meet my eyes, and that cowardly look made my heart feel even more bitter. Mary has always believed that I used tricks to force Tom to leave for another place, causing them to miss each other. But little did she know it was Tom who approached me first to negotiate terms. As long as I gave him the opportunity for a government-funded study abroad slot, he would no longer compete with me for Mary. At that time, I loved Mary deeply, but her gaze was always on Tom. Faced with the opportunity that came to me, I naturally seized it without hesitation. Later, Tom went abroad, and Mary and I continued to have a Cold War until we graduated from college. Mary returned to her seat, bumped my table, and said, "Give me some bread and milk." She sat in the front row and was too lazy to turn around. I pretended not to hear and lay on the table in a daze. She then turned around to look at me, and seeing that I was sulking, she pouted unhappily. But the smugness in her eyes was particularly glaring. Indeed, she was with the person she liked, and here I was, the former sim, so she must be the winner in life. After the class ended, my thoughts became a little clearer. Looking at the empty desk of my desk mate, I decided to find something to do to distract myself. As soon as class was over, Mary naturally took my backpack that was hanging on the chair. She rummaged through it for a long time, found nothing, and simply reached into my desk to search. "Where are the snacks? You brought me breakfast?" "I haven't had breakfast yet." Her beautiful brows and eyes were filled with anger, just like in our past life after marriage, as she questioned me with a sense of entitlement. In the past, I would shamelessly coax her in a low voice, but now, why should I? "You didn't eat breakfast. What does that have to do with me?" I slung my backpack over my shoulder, packed the snacks I had stuffed into my mate's desk back in, and turned to leave. Mary stamped her foot and snorted coldly. "Got some skills now? Don't think I'll forgive you easily." This is her usual way of threatening me, and hearing this, I am filled with sarcasm. She is just the daughter of my family's maid, yet she is so oblivious to her own insignificance. Taking advantage of my fondness for her, I took out my phone and made a call home. "Mom, clean up Mary's room and let her move to where she should be. Also, you don't need to give her living expenses anymore." Mom was very surprised, but more than that, she was excited. She didn't ask many questions about the reason, seemingly afraid that I would change my mind, and after agreeing, she quickly hung up the phone. I really am a fool to please Mary. I once threatened my family with my studies and treated her like a daughter. Not only did I prepare a separate room for her, but I also covered all her living expenses, and her monthly allowance was even higher than mine. Looking back now, I really want to slap myself a few times. After I asked the homeroom teacher for my desk mate's address, I rushed over immediately. I remember that in my past life, this desk mate also hadn't come to school for several days, and the next time I heard news about her, it was that she had committed suicide. The girl at the next desk is very quiet, studies hard, and her grades are quite good. I really can't understand why someone who works so hard would choose to commit suicide. After passing through several alleys that emitted a foul odor, I finally found her home. In front of the dilapidated house was a large character that read "Demolish." I frowned slightly and continued upstairs. The higher I climbed, the more intense the feeling of sadness became until I saw the white couplets posted at the door. My heart sank suddenly, and my feet felt as if they were filled with lead, unable to take another step forward. The door to the room was wide open, and in the dim yellow light, the sound of soft weeping could be heard, sending chills down my spine. "Lily," I called softly into the room. The sobbing in the room abruptly stopped, and then a slender girl walked out. Her eyes were red and swollen, and when she saw me, a hint of color finally appeared on her otherwise lifeless face. How did you find my house?" "I see you didn't go to class, so I came to check on you." She stood at the door, showing no intention of inviting me in to sit. I gathered my courage and said, "Aren't you going to invite me in to sit for a while? I brought you my notes from the past few days." Lily took a deep breath, and reluctantly, I made my way inside and saw a memorial photo of a kindly-looking elderly lady placed in front of the dining table. Next to the table, there was a particularly conspicuous bottle. I had never seen pesticide before, but I knew that the bottle contained pesticide. I was suddenly flustered. "You wouldn't drink this, would you?" Lily nervously tried to hide the bottle, but I was quick and snatched it away. Come on, let's go to the hospital. She stood firmly in place. Lily, what are you doing? Your grandmother worked so hard to raise you. She must hope to see you live a happy life. Lily completely broke down, squatting on the ground with her face in her hands, crying. I studied hard, desperately trying to escape my fate, but what was the result? We were about to sign the demolition contract, yet the developer suddenly backed out. My grandmother is still waiting for the demolition money to save her. Why? Why give me hope only to let me despair? After understanding the situation, I realized that Grandma Lily chose to commit suicide to avoid burdening Lily when she learned that the relocation was hopeless. My heart was filled with mixed emotions because it was I who had threatened my dad to withdraw the relocation. Dad bought some land to prepare for development to ensure that Mary's family could receive the compensation for relocation. I convinced Dad to invest in their area first. Because of this action, the relocation for Lily's family was delayed. I never expected that this would lead to the loss of 2 lives. After Mary's family received the compensation, they not only showed no gratitude, but also said it was just their good luck and told me not to think of taking credit for it. Living is really too exhausting, and I no longer have the motivation to keep going. I earnestly persuaded her for a long time, and I don't know which words touched her, but her eyes finally regained a bit of sparkle. To prevent her from doing anything foolish again, I quickly ran downstairs to buy her a mobile phone. Seeing that there was no food at her home, I also left all the snacks in my bag for her. By the time everything was done, it was completely dark outside. At that moment, Mary called. As soon as the call was answered, a voice filled with mockery and questioning came through. George, you better get your ass back here. The tone of that command was as if ordering a dog. I took a deep breath and called Dad. Today, I was so focused on comforting Lily that I almost forgot to cancel the demolition at Mary's house. Dad said earnestly, "You've grown up too. I want to stop you from pampering a woman, but don't let it turn her into a thankless person." Back home, Mary was elegantly sitting on the sofa, delicately holding a fork to eat fruit. Her mother looked at her with a face full of satisfaction. Seeing me, Mary frowned, crossed her legs, and rubbed her forehead, saying, "Your mom threw all my things out of my room. You need to take care of it quickly." The tone of her command made it seem as if she was the mistress of the house in the last life. That was indeed the case. But now, she clearly hadn't grasped the situation. Mom stood by, staring at me intently, afraid that I would threaten her again. I glanced at Mary and said, "If you throw it away, then throw it away." A maid's daughter living in the master bedroom for so long really thinks too highly of herself. Mary clearly didn't expect me to say that. Her eyes filled with disbelief. "Mom, what are you doing? The daughter of a nanny is enjoying herself in my house. Does she deserve it?" I picked up the half-eaten fruit in front of her and disdainfully threw it into the trash can. I knew this action would definitely anger Mary. Sure enough, Mary stood up, walked in front of me, and slapped me without hesitation. "George, you are too much," she exclaimed, touching her hand and looking at me with grievance, waiting for me to comfort her. That's right. In my past life, when she got angry and hit me, I would still lean in and ask her if it hurt, telling her not to do it herself next time. But this time, it's different. Mom rushed over like crazy and slapped Mary several times. "What do you think you are doing, daring to lay a hand on my son, not knowing your own place? I suggest you all just get lost." Mary didn't expect her mom to take action in a fit of anger. She laughed and said to me, "Are you just going to watch your mom bully me like this?" I checked my mom's hand. It was a bit red and swollen. "You said you would get to work, so how did you end up hurting yourself? Next time, why not use a more convenient tool?" The treatment that once belonged to Mary has now shifted to her mother. Mary, furious, picked up a nearby vase and smashed it hard on the ground. "George, this is a vase from the Tang Dynasty worth 8 million. Mom suddenly pushed me away, looking at the broken pieces on the ground with a pained and speechless expression. Mary crossed her arms and raised her chin proudly, saying, "George, hurry up and get your mom to apologize to me, or I'll smash your whole house." I looked at her like she was a fool and dialed the emergency number. When the police arrived, Mary remained dignified and aloof, refusing to admit her mistake, and even gave the officers the cold shoulder. Her mother, Dina, stood frozen in place, watching as the person was taken away, unsure of what to say. "Dina, I give you 15 minutes to pack your things and leave immediately. You can't treat me like this. If Mary comes back, she definitely won't forgive you." Over the years, Dina has also grown quite a bit of an attitude, sulking and considering herself my mother-in-law. I stopped wasting time and instructed the butler to hurry and get people moving. In less than 15 minutes, Dina's belongings were all thrown outside the iron gate. At midnight, perhaps Mary couldn't hold on any longer. The police station called me. "Hello." As soon as the call was connected, Mary's voice came through. "I'm the future Mrs. George, so you better let me go. Otherwise, I will remember all of you, and none of you can. I expect a promotion then." She threatened disdainfully. The police officer who called me was also a bit angry. "You just want to bail her out, but we won't release her. It's too insulting, officer. She's just the daughter of our housekeeper, and the housekeeper was just fired as well. You can handle it however you see fit. If she can't come up with the compensation money, then deal with it according to the law." After saying this, I immediately blacklisted everyone related to Mary. I originally thought Mary would stay in the detention center for at least a day or two, but unexpectedly, I ran into her at school the next day. She sat in her seat, her eyes red as she watched me pass by. Tom kindly helped her wipe away her tears. Seeing that I was indifferent, Tom turned to me and said, "I've heard everything, George. You really went too far this time. Hurry up and apologize to Mary. I bailed her out last night, and you need to transfer the bail money to me. 10 million. With that, he placed a payment code in front of me. "Tom, don't be so submissive to him. I want to forgive him," Mary said, giving me a fierce glare. I was just staring blankly at my deskmate's seat, wondering why she hadn't arrived yet. Could it be? I was just about to ask for leave to take a look when Lily walked in slowly with her backpack. Upon seeing me, she gave me a slight nod, and I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing that I ignored her, Mary impatiently turned around to talk to me. "George, you hurry up and return the bail money to Tom, and you need to give him an extra $10,000. He helped you so much last night." Tom's eyes lit up upon hearing this, and he pushed the payment code in front of me again. I scoffed and asked, "May I ask what he has helped me with?" At this time, the classmates in the class arrived one after another, and everyone turned to look at us. Mary's face turned red, and then, as if she understood something, she sneered. "Aren't you just jealous that Tom is with me?" "Yes, you are together with him, and it's only natural for him to help you. Why do you still want to ask me for money? What? You don't expect me to spend money to support your relationship, do you? You're so calculating. I will never like you in this lifetime." Mary pouted and snorted coldly. Tom's face looked a bit grim, since he didn't receive the money. "George, how can you treat Mary like this? Even if she is with me, isn't she the person you like? Shouldn't you be willing to give for someone you like? You should hurry up and pay back the money." When he said this, the classmates couldn't help but shake their heads. I don't like her anymore. The person I like is Lily. I propped my chin up with my hand, looking at Lily sitting beside me. Hearing my words, Lily stiffly turned her head to look at me. "You just keep pretending," Mary snorted coldly, pushing her desk forward and creating some distance between her desk and mine. Having lived a whole life, she is still so immature. She can't really think that this is cute, can she? For the next week, Mary ignored me completely, but her gaze always carried a sense of grievance and resentment until the days of sending Mary her living expenses every month. On that day, she was restless, constantly pulling out her phone to check. By the time school was over in the afternoon, she still hadn't received her allowance and could no longer sit still. She stopped me at the school gate, skillfully getting ready to get in the car. I quickly locked the car door, lowered the window, and looked at her. "George, Mary," she glared with wide eyes. "My car is not something just anyone can sit in. Why hasn't your mom sent me the living expenses this month? Does she look down on me and want to humiliate me?" I looked around at the onlookers and said loudly, "You're just the daughter of my family's maid. We only gave you living expenses out of pity. Now that your mom has been fired from our house, What face do you have to ask me for living expenses when her identity was exposed? Mary's eyes turned red all of a sudden. She threw a backpack in my face and ran away crying. Tom walked over, looking down at me, sitting in the car, his eyes revealing jealousy. You've really gone too far this time. Transfer $100,000 to me, and I'll help you smooth things over with her. Otherwise, you two will really be completely at odds. He earnestly took out his phone to show the payment code, but I directly had the driver drive away. The wheels rolled over Mary's backpack. After that period, Mary completely severed ties with me. She went around making threats to cut off her friendship and constantly gave my friends the cold shoulder. David was publicly humiliated by her several times, but he remained silent and endured it. One day, Dave and I were having lunch with Lily in the school cafeteria when Mary and Tom walked over side by side. They looked around for a while, but couldn't find a seat, so they came over to us. Move aside, Mary shouted at Lily. During this time, to give Lily psychological support, I asked her to be my tutor. I glanced at the dishes in Mary and Lily's bowls. There was only one vegetable dish and a bowl of free soup in Mary's, while Lily's bowl was filled with a lavish meal. Seeing this, Mary was even more furious. George, let her go and we can have a good talk as long as you sincerely admit your mistake. I said, come on, Lily, eat more. I completely ignored Mary and kept serving food to Lily. She was just too thin. Mary felt neglected and embarrassed, so she kicked David with her foot. Step aside. After this period of time, David had already come to believe that I didn't like Mary, and he stretched out his long legs and kicked back at Mary. What do you think you are, daring to order me around? Mary was kicked and stumbled, spilling the vegetable soup all over herself, looking utterly disheveled. I looked at all of this coldly, feeling a bit amused inside. Mary always thought that others respected her because she deserved it. In fact, without me, no one would give her any face at all. Mary was overwhelmed with shame, and Tom also felt very embarrassed. He quickly pulled Mary away and left. As soon as the others left, Lily immediately pushed my hand away. All right, everyone has left. Stop acting. It is already May, but Lily's hands are still cold. How do you know? I don't really like you anymore, I asked. Lily lowered her eyes and said, I don't deserve you. I'm already very grateful to be able to help you with your studies. Hearing this, my feelings were complicated, and I went to the pavilion alone without finishing my meal. Indeed, during this time, I used Lily to get back at Mary, but it was not because I still loved Mary or wanted to make her jealous. I simply wanted to make her feel bad. Lily was used by me, and she must feel terrible about it. Just as I was thinking, Tom's voice came through. Mary, why don't you apologize to George? My mother's medical expenses can't wait any longer. I know this has been unfair to you, but I will make it up to you. Tom, don't say that. I didn't know Annie's condition was so serious. It's all George's fault. I don't mind apologizing to him. I'm just worried that you might be jealous. I'm fine as long as I know you have me in your heart. I'm just worried about you feeling wronged. Any grievances you suffer by George's side, I will make sure to get back for you in the future. I looked at the two people standing together in the bamboo forest, feeling like I had swallowed a fly. What do I count in their play? Fortunately, there is less than a month until the college entrance examination, and that $8 million compensation is enough to give Mary a headache. That ended the afternoon. After school, Mary again thoughtlessly tried to sit in my car. I was waiting for someone and didn't stop her in time, so she squeezed into the seat. Your backpack is at your house, so go get it. I pointed to a dog sleeping in a doghouse not far away and said, your backpack is over there. Mary took a deep breath, crossed her legs, and was about to eat the fruit in the car. I watched as Lily's figure drew closer, feeling a bit anxious for some reason. I was a little afraid of letting Lily see me with Mary. What exactly do you want to do, George? I've thought it through. I can forgive you, but you have to take responsibility for Tom's mother's medical expenses and for the vase you broke last time. I suffered a lot at the police station, and you even made me pay for it. It really infuriated me. If you give me $10 million for this matter, I can forget all of it. The more I listened, the more speechless I became. Seeing that Lily was about to arrive, I kicked Mary out and instructed the driver to take the car to the front gate. George, I am really angry, and I will definitely make you regret it. I took Lily's backpack and helped her into the car. The college entrance examination is coming soon, so you'll have to work hard during this time. After many years in society, I have almost forgotten everything I learned in high school, but I can pick it up quickly with Lily tutoring me. My scores have now reached 600. In my previous life, I scored 650 points while Mary and Tom only scored 560 points. Worried that they would be together in college, I applied to the same school as them. Although studying wasn't very useful for me, the knowledge from my past life was enough for me to advance in the company. But who would complain about having a higher degree? I'm studying hard on my side while Mary is trying to get back at me. She is even more blatant in showing off her affection with Tom in front of me. On the eve of the college entrance examination, she sent me a multimedia message. I will forever belong to Tom in this lifetime. The accompanying image was of a large bed in a small inn with yellowed sheets and shabby decor. Clearly the kind of place where you can stay for just a few bucks a night. Mary, how dare you? I immediately replied, you forced me. After saying this, I didn't pay any more attention to it. The next 2 days, the exam went smoothly. Mary's repayment time is also approaching. At that time, they agreed to repay after the college entrance examination, and now I want to see how they will handle it. If the living expenses my family has given her over the years had not been spent, we should be able to save up $2 million. Her mother's salary is also decent, and if the family pitches in, we can definitely come up with $3 million. When I want to collect the debt, Mary still held her head high. Give him the money, $8 million. I reminded, but we don't have $8 million, Mary's mother said worriedly. This house is going to be demolished soon, right? The compensation for the demolition will definitely be a lot, so let's sell this house first. Saying this, she pulled her family aside. Don't worry, George is just betting hard with me. It's just a matter of who gives in first. I know him well enough. In the end, they'll get all this money back. Her family finally breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, Mary's uncle bought their house for $5 million, agreeing that they would buy it back for $8 million later. If they didn't buy it, all the demolition money would go to her uncle. I happily accepted the money and took a sentimental glance at this dilapidated old building. In my previous life, I invested quite a bit of money to develop this area, but the results were disappointing. Although I didn't lose money, I also didn't make any profit. Under my persuasion, Dad chose to breach the contract and gave up this piece of land. Relocation? Don't even think about it. This place will always be a slum for the rest of our lives. I got $8 million and wanted to celebrate with David and Lily, but when I arrived at Lily's house, it was already empty. I received a farewell letter from her in which she expressed her gratitude for my presence that day and said that when she is able, she will repay me. I completely lost contact with Lily and inquired with the teacher about which school she went to, but I had no results. I felt empty inside. To get rid of this uncomfortable feeling, I started a business with this $8 million. In the summer, vacation ended and Mary appeared before me again. She looked thin and disheveled, completely unlike the glamorous Mrs. George from her previous life. Only the sarcastic and haughty expression on her face remained unchanged. George, I am already pregnant with Tom's child. Do you regret it? I frowned as I looked at her, feeling shame for having once liked someone like her. Fortunately, in this lifetime, I have nothing to do with her anymore. Otherwise, it would be even more humiliating than having a criminal record. Regret is useless. I will give birth to his child and then marry you, making you suffer as you watch me raise his child. This is what you owe him from your past life. She looked at me mockingly, thinking that this would hurt me. I quickly sent a message to the property management asking them to send security. When Mary was being escorted away by the security, she screamed hysterically, "George, you can't let anyone harm my child. This is my child with Tom, and even if you love me, you have no right to do this. Even if I die, I will give birth to my child with Tom. If you dare to touch this child, I will never forgive you for the rest of my life." In her desperate screams and struggles, she was carried by the security guards outside the community gate, and then no one cared for her anymore. From the video sent to me by the security guard, I saw her repeatedly mumbling, Why did you throw me out and not care about me anymore? Shouldn't George force me to get rid of the baby and start over with me? Her hands were trembling, and her gaze gradually turned fearful. Mary, how are you? Did George hurt you? If he dares to touch our child, I will fight him to the death. Tom absent-mindedly looked into the community, hoping someone would come out quickly. He didn't do anything. Do you think George is giving up on me? Mary anxiously grabbed Tom, feeling something slipping away. Tom also looked bewildered. Have you been inside already? Yes. Tom furrowed his brow tightly. Then how could he remain indifferent? The two fell into confusion. I turned off the video, and I no longer wanted to know about Mary. In her sophomore year, Mary somehow found my contact information and angrily questioned me. Is it you again? Am I big confused? I've almost forgotten what kind of person she is. What did you use? Tricks to force Tom to go abroad again. Do you know how much he suffered overseas in his past life? George, you are really too immature. Fine, I give in. I agree to marry you. Just stop targeting Tom. I glanced at the time. Tom also went abroad at this time in his previous life. Mary thought that all these years I still like her. How ridiculous. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not interested in your matters. Mary, stop being skeptical. I haven't liked you for a long time. Ever since the day you got together with Tom, I've had no interest in you at all. I hope you can understand that. I don't believe you. If you don't like me, why don't you find a girlfriend or have any flirty interactions with other girls? Mary said playfully, I'm too lazy to waste words with her. The reason I don't date is indeed because I like someone, but that person is not her. I opened the social media app and clicked on Lily's account. She is now full of confidence, radiating energy, and is about to go abroad for an exchange program. The girl who once was timid and shy, like an ugly duckling, is slowly transforming into a beautiful swan. Mary then came to me several times wanting to leave the child with my mother for her to take care of. I directly called the police and said she wanted to abandon the child. She could only huddle in her old, leaky house, waiting day after day for Tom to come back. David told me about her situation. Her family is increasingly dissatisfied with her because they have no money, and now there's an additional child. The family wants to send her back, but she kept saying that I would marry her after graduating from college, which reassured my family. It's just that without money, her life has been quite difficult in recent years because she has to raise her child and earn a living. She can only set up a stall. On the day of her university graduation, Mary appeared again. She was dressed beautifully and stood proudly in front of me and my classmates. In my past life, I proposed to her while taking graduation photos. A patch of grass nearby had been lovingly marked out, decorated with flowers and balloons in a very romantic way. Mary naturally spotted it at a glance. She let out a soft hum, turned her head away, pouted, and said, You want to use public opinion to pressure me into accepting your proposal again in front of everyone? You always do this. Fine, fine. This time I agree to you. She hotly walked towards the center. Just as I reached out my foot to step in, a girl suddenly pulled me out. What are you doing? Didn't you see someone proposing? Don't cause trouble. Mary stumbled and almost lost her balance. She glared angrily at the girl in front of her. I, the protagonist of this proposal banquet, felt the girl seemed to have heard some huge joke. You? How is that possible? Mary proudly lifted her chin, drawing envious glances from those around her. Before the crowd could envy her for a few seconds, the girl shattered her beautiful dream. This is what my sister prepared to propose to the boy she has a crush on. You need to get a grip on the situation, okay? A girl proposing to a boy, under the astonished gazes of the crowd. Lily slowly emerged from the throng. I was pushed from behind and uncontrollably found myself in the middle of a love scene. Seeing Lily, I was so shocked that I couldn't speak, just quietly looking at her, my eyes gradually becoming moist. This is the first time I've seen her in 4 years. It's been a long time since we last met. Would you be willing to marry me and be my other half? Lily's eyes were red and her gaze was sincere. Mary was taken aback and rushed between us like a madwoman. Lily, what do you think you are? A poor person like you still wants to climb up to George. Lily completely ignored her and slowly said to me, I know I don't deserve you, so I've been working hard all these years. This is my company, and currently the annual profit is around 100 million. In the future, it can develop even better. Lily shoved a pile of documents into my hands. This is my savings, only 1 billion. I know this is far less than your family's assets, but I have money, so I want to covet your family's wealth. I only want to covet you as a person. She gazed into my eyes, full of affection. Are you willing? Mary stood frozen in place. The figure of 1 billion made her feel as if she had fallen into an ice cave. She rushed over and snatched the ring from Lily's hand, desperately trying to put it on her own finger. George, I accept your proposal. I will marry you. Let's hurry back home. She dared not face it all, her breathing heavy. I have nothing to do with you. Pushing Mary aside, I pulled Lily into my arms. I am willing. Mary's voice trembled. George, how can you treat me like this? The person you clearly like is me. Why do you have to agree to someone else's proposal just to make me angry? The onlookers began to whisper, and some envious people started to make sarcastic remarks. Could it be that he's the scumbag who abandoned his ex-girlfriend? She's crying like this, and you guys have the nerve to be together in front of her? I let go of Lily and looked at Mary with a cold expression. Mary, stop talking to yourself. We're just high school classmates at most. Yes, I was foolish enough to like you for a while, but after you got together with Tom, I kept my distance. You also had a child with Tom, and everyone has their own lives now. Why do you still want to entangle me? Just because I liked you once, does that mean I have to be your slave for life? After speaking, I left with Lily. Only Mary was left standing there in a daze, being pointed at by others. I don't know who posted the scene online, but it immediately caused a huge uproar. The identities of the few of us were all exposed, and everyone began to see me and Lily as a golden couple, while cursing Mary as a toad wanting to eat swan meat. Seeing this, I let out a sigh. The nightmare of my past life has finally come to an end, but we need to hurry up with the wedding arrangements. At first, I followed Lily with a fake account, occasionally sending her words of encouragement. It turns out she always knew that she left me because of her insecurities, and over the years, she worked hard to be worthy of me. She said that unequal relationships will ultimately fail. She doesn't want to compromise for me, nor does she want me to go against my family for her. My mom held Lily's hand, laughing so hard she couldn't close her mouth. You've suffered these years, my girl. Our family doesn't care about social status. As long as the person is good, that's enough. I married Lily, and soon we had a pair of twins. Life was simple and happy. Then I asked about Mary. I heard that when she found out I was getting married, and her family almost killed her. Everyone said she was too dramatic, and it backfired. They forced her to come and apologize to me, begging for forgiveness. But she and I are no longer from the same world. She can only occasionally hear news about our group in financial magazines or the news. Later, I heard that her family forced her to marry a bachelor and received quite a bit of dowry. Later on, I saw news about her in the social news section that a woman named Mary killed a man at 8 a.m. today. The scene was bloody, and when she was arrested, she attempted to commit suicide repeatedly, murmuring that if she died, she could go back. Mary gradually fell into a stupor, and everything from the past flashed before her eyes like a revolving lantern. She was once well off, a Mrs. George who was respected by everyone. With a beep, her phone received a message notification, and Mary's face instantly turned pale. Although everyone envies her for soaring to the treetops and becoming a phoenix, what she has lost is love. Later, she found love, but it was not sweet, and she regretted it again. Let me start over again. Mary opened her eyes again, and the surroundings were very unfamiliar. The iron bed frame made a cracking sound. The visiting time is up. Hurry up and go out. As soon as the others left, a fat woman slapped Mary hard. If you pretend to be confused again, it'll kill you. Mary's anguished voice echoed throughout the entire cell. She had no chance to go back.